Welcome to a series called He Trains My Hands for War, where we're going through the book of Joshua, verse by verse, because Joshua is by far the best example we have of what it is to be in the army of the Lord and what that is like to be obedient to God and have success and find failure when you cut the corners, so to say. It's really the best example we have anywhere in the world. So we're going through it verse by verse, and we've been doing this for a while. I'm going to recommend that over the year or so, as we go through this, that you work out during this time. It's impossible to be part of the War of the Saints if you can't get off your couch. So I'm out here taking a walk. I'm out at Lake Jacomos, just kind of parked here for a second to stop and do this video. So where we are is Joshua and the Israelites had just defeated Ai through deception, and then they made a altar to the Lord, like on Mount Ebal, that Moses had told them to, and read all the laws of Moses to the Israelites. And then we're just going to pick it up there. Starting Joshua 9, verse 1. And it came to pass, when all the kings were on this side of the Jordan, in the hills and in the lowlands, and in all the coasts and the great sea towards Lebanon, the Hittite, the Amorite, and the Canaanite, and the Perizzites, the Hivites, and Jebusites heard about it, that they gathered together to fight with Joshua and Israel with one accord. But when the inhabitants of Gibeon heard what Joshua had done to Jericho and Ai, they worked craftily and went and pretended to be ambassadors, and they took old sacks on their donkeys, old wineskins torn and mended, old and patched sandals on their feet, and old garments on themselves, and all the bread, their provisions, was dry and moldy. And they went to Joshua to the camp of Gilgal and said to him, the men of Israel, we have come from a far country. Now therefore make a covenant with us. Then the men of Israel said to the Hivites, perhaps you dwell among us, so how can we make a covenant with you? But they said to Joshua, we are your servants. And Joshua said to them, who are you, and where do you come from? So they said to him, from a very far country your servants have come because of the name of the Lord your God, for we have heard of his fame and all that he did in Egypt, and all that he did to the two kings of the Amorites who were beyond the Jordan, to Sihon king of Heshbon and Og king of Bashan, who was in Ashtaroth. Therefore our elders and all the inhabitants of our country spoke to us, saying, take provisions with you for the journey, and go to meet them, and say to them, we are your servants. Now therefore make a covenant with us. This bread of ours we took hot for our provision from our houses on the day we departed to come to you, but now look, it is dry and moldy. And these wineskins which we filled were new, and see, they are torn. And these our garments and our sandals have become old because of a very long journey. Then the men of Israel took some of their provisions, but they did not ask counsel of the Lord. So Joshua made peace with them and made a covenant with them to let them live, and the rulers of the congregation swore to them. And it happened at the end of 3 days, after they had made a covenant with them, that they heard that they were their neighbors who dwelt near them. And the children of Israel journeyed and came to their cities on the 3rd day. Now their cities were Gibeon, Siphron, Beeroth, and Kirjath Jearim. The children of Israel did not attack them, because the rulers of the congregation had sworn to them by the Lord God of Israel, and all the congregation complained against the rulers. Then all the rulers said to all the congregation, we have sworn to them by the Lord God of Israel, now therefore we may not touch them. This we will do to them, we will let them live, lest wrath be upon us because of the oath which was sworn to them. And the rulers said to them, let them live, but let them be woodcutters and water carriers for all the congregation, as the rulers had promised them. So I'm going to pause right there real quick, because ultimately what you have here is you have deception coming in the camp of Israel. Neighbors, rulers of different cities coming in, pretending to be from far away, saying, hey, make a pact with us that you won't hurt us. We're from far away, we're not from around here. They make this pact. And now, when they discovered, well, wait a second, you're from the city right here, they hold their pact. Now, here's where they went wrong. They did not seek the counsel of the Lord. This is where they went wrong. And this is going to cause problems that Israel is dealing with to this very day by letting the locals survive. God said, cleanse the land of all. But they let these survive, and they essentially make them servants to the Israel. But in the end, it is causing problems for Israel to this very day. You know why? They were deceived. Why should all of Israel be punished for the remainder of Israel's life because of this deception that took place on this day long ago? It was Israel who was lied to. But really, ultimately, it comes down to the fact that they did not seek the counsel of the Lord. This is something that we have to understand. We're walking around this world faced with situations day after day after day where we are making decisions that affect eternity and maybe our ancestors' eternity. And we're making these decisions, but we're not seeking the counsel of the Lord. And this is really where they had gone terribly wrong, is they did not seek the counsel of the Lord. Had they done that, the Lord would have said, no, no, these guys are from here, kill them. But they did not seek the counsel, or they trusted on their own instincts. They saw with their eyes this deception and they believed it. So they went with it. Whereas had they sought the counsel of the Lord, Israel may not be at war right now, literally. This is a problem, that leaving these people alive made a problem for Israel that they are dealing with to this very day. It's something that we have to open our eyes to how important it is to seek the counsel of the Lord and not just make rash decisions like that. It's incredibly important. So there you go. We'll kind of get into the consequences of this decision and how this plays out next time. But man, just seek the counsel of the Lord often, always. When you felt like you've sought him enough, seek him again. He's a good counselor. His thoughts are higher than ours. His ways are higher than ours. It's important that we seek him in all things. So there you go. Stick with us. Keep working out with us. I'm going to get back to my walk, and we'll just see you next time.